Alrighty guys, this is Snugs on Blitz, and I'm back with another video for you today. So, a sub sent me an email a while back and said, hey Snugs, why don't you do a video on lingo? And I thought, what a great idea, because Blitz has its own set of vocabulary and words that a lot of newer players don't really know what they mean. So when they're watching videos such as mine or Droodles or Fatness or whatever, they may not be familiar with that language. And I thought, hey, that's true. I mean, I've picked up these words over years of playing the game. So today we're going to take a look at two main areas. The first is ammo, and the second is Hulldown. Okay, now then, when we talk about ammo, there are two words you probably heard people say. One of them are gold shells. Another word is pramo. In other words, premium ammo. These words mean exactly the same thing, okay? But it's important to remember that gold shells can be APCR or they could be heat, depending on the tank you're using. So I'm going to look at three different tanks, starting with this one, the Chieftain Mark 6, the Tier 10 British gold tank. Let's jump right in. Now the Chieftain comes with two types of APCR, Armor Piercing Composite Rigid. The top one is the standard shell, and the middle one is its quote-unquote gold shell or pramo. Now I say gold shell because standard, the default setting is gold. As you can see now, I've changed it. But you can change it to credits, which I highly recommend. So just be careful you don't pay gold for your gold shells. Use credits, okay? And last but not least, it has HE, high explosive. Now be aware, generally speaking, the standard shell has more damage but less pen, and the gold shell has better pen but less damage. Now the pattern is a little bit different because it has AP as its standard shell, heat, high explosive anti-tank shell as its pramo gold shell, and last but not least, of course, HE at the bottom. So quite different. Now if you want to understand the difference between heat and APCR, Martinator does a great video explaining in depth the difference between these things. I highly recommend you check that out. I'll put it in the comments below. The FV4005, on the other hand, has AP as its standard, APCR as its gold shell / pramo, and HE down at the bottom. And that covers pretty much most ammo. What I'm not going to talk about today is HESH. Why? Because very few tanks carry it, so why bother complicating the matter right now? That will be for another video later on. But again, as I said, check out Martinator's great video. He goes into some great depth, more stuff than I even care about. But hey, if you want to check it out, it'll help you. So that's a quick overview of ammo. Let's move into part 2 of this video, which is hull down. So what does going hull down mean? Essentially, it's when you put your tank in a position where you're able to just peek on over and show your enemy just the tip of your turret and making yourself a very tough target. See, T-57's doing it, and so am I, and therefore we both bounce shells. Now, some tanks can do this easily, and other tanks can't. If you have good gun depression, you will be able to put your tank in many positions that will take advantage of your turret armor and make yourself a very tough target for the enemy tanks. If you have poor gun depression, you will struggle to find positions where you're able to protect yourself. So how do I suggest newer players learn how to go hull down? I think it's best to use American heavy tanks to master this skill. I'm talking about M6, the T-29, the T-32, the T-34, the T-30, the T-28 Defender, the T-28 Protector, the E5. Now, I know I put some TDs in there, but essentially they are heavy tanks because they're slow beasts with good gun depression. If you want to learn how to go hull down, these are the tanks I suggest you start with, and then apply that technique to other tanks after that. I guarantee if you learn how to go hull down, it will change your play style entirely, and you'll become an entirely different player by mastering this one simple technique. Anyway, that's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed this first video on Blitz lingo. Maybe you learned something. maybe you didn't. If you've got some ideas for more lingo, shove them in the comments below. I've got a list ready to go, but hey, maybe you've got something that I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Snugs on Blitz. Out.